If you look closely, you'll notice that open barrel terminals have two sets of wings. The smaller wings are designed to grip the bare copper strands, while the larger wings wrap around the wire insulation to provide strain relief. Start by stripping enough insulation to expose the wire strands. For most small automotive and motorcycle terminals, you'll typically remove about 3 to 5 millimeters. A good rule of thumb is to strip the wire, place it into the terminal, and check that the bare copper reaches the end of the conductor wings, while the insulation lines up with the larger strain relief wings. Place the terminal in one of the crimping cavities and gently close the tool until the terminal is held in position. If the terminal sits naturally in the die and the wings line up with the crimp profile, that's usually a good sign you're using the correct cavity. Insert the stripped wire into the terminal. The wire should fit comfortably inside the conductor barrel without forcing it and without leaving a huge amount of empty space. If the wire barely fits, the terminal is probably too small. Or if the wire looks lost inside the terminal is probably too large. After making a test crimp, inspect the result. The conductor wings should fall neatly around the copper strands. The insulation wings should grip the insulation firmly without cutting into it. One thing I've learned is that the finished crimp tells you more than any chart ever will. If the wings are flattened, crushed, or overlapping excessively, you're probably using a cavity that's too small. When you're dealing with mystery terminals from an assortment kit, making a couple of test crimps is often the fastest way to determine the correct wire size and crimping cavity. And not all terminals are designed for the same wire gauge, and using the wrong combination can lead to weak connections. A lot of open barrel terminals come in assorted kits with no part numbers, no wire gauge markings, and no documentation whatsoever. Now, let's talk about crimpers. Unlike a traditional manual crimper, a ratcheting crimper applies controlled and repeatable pressure every time. The mechanism won't release until the crimp is fully completed, and if you need to reposition the connector for any reason, you can simply use the release lever right here to open the tool before the crimp is finished. Another advantage is that these crimpers are designed specifically for open barrel terminals, meaning they crimp both sets of wings in a single operation. With a standard manual crimper, you typically have to crimp the conductor wings first and then come back and crimp the insulation wings separately, which takes more time and requires a bit more practice to get right. One thing I really like about this style of crimper is that the jaw set on this tool can actually be removed and replaced with other dies designed for different types of terminals. So instead of buying a completely different crimper every time you work with a new connector, you can simply swap out the jaws and keep using the same ratcheting handle.